Hello, everyone. Welcome to African Ancestry's Facebook Live. Today is Wednesday, June 17th. I'm Dr. Gina Page, and I am very happy to have you joining us today. It's the week of Juneteenth. How are you all feeling about getting ready to celebrate Juneteenth? That's what we're going to talk about today. You know, we're in the middle of Black Music Month, so we're not doing Black music today for our Facebook Live. You can check us out over on IGTV, where we have all of our family members who are musicians and artists, musical artists, in conversation with us over there. But today I'm excited because we're going to be talking about how our brothers and sisters, our cousins from African nations celebrate their country's independence. You all know that we typically give 5 facts about a country, an African country, every week. And oftentimes we are acknowledging a country's independence if it happens in the week that we're on. And so this week, as all the world, really all the country anyway, is focused on Juneteenth, we thought it'd be a good idea to expand the conversation and get some learning. So I want to welcome you all here. Hey, Joseph, good to see you. Thank you for being here as usual. Carol Collins is in the house, it looks like. Yep. Mabrini, glad to see you from South Carolina. Brandon, hey, good to see you. Cheryl, Andrea, Mary. Mary was holding it down with me the other day on the Indie Juneteenth Facebook Live. Thank you for being there, Mary. And I know some of the rest of you were there too. Jerry's in the house. Freeman, Zandra. Very nice. You're in Brooklyn. Okay, good. Some of our both of our guests are actually in New York City right now. So I'm glad that you're here. Avanti's in the house. Oh my goodness. I feel like it's a reunion every Wednesday. Tony is checking in from YouTube, and Tamara or Tamara, I hope I pronounced that correctly, one of those ways. Thanks for joining us on YouTube. Kristen's in the house. So you all, I wanted to take a moment and just have a moment of reflection for our brother in Atlanta, Rayshard Brooks, who lost his life. You know that we like to acknowledge people who have transitioned to the ancestor realm. And so we want to acknowledge him and send our positive energy to his family and all of his loved ones who are dealing with the tragedy of his assassination down in Atlanta. And I am encouraged by all of the protesting that we see, the voices that are being lifted, that are turning the tide, hopefully, in how we as Black people are treated. And, you know, African Ancestry is proud to be here in this movement. We are the pioneers of genetic ancestry tracing for Black people around the world. We have been for 17 years. We've been on a mission to transform the way we view ourselves as Black people and the way we view Africa. We've chosen to do that through DNA. And so our tests, our matriclan tests and patriclan tests, give you a tool. They offer you a tool that you can use to reconnect to your ancestry before South Carolina, before New York, before Alabama, before Jamaica or Cuba or the UK or Brazil, wherever you know your people to be from. We can give you more information about certain lines of your family tree down to the present day African country and ethnic group. And we're the only company that can do that. And so we have seen, and all of you who are here in the comments who are part of the family know that when you know where you're from, your outlook changes. You stand taller, you have pride, you have a sense of place, you have a sense of belonging, you have a sense of connection, and the void that we've walked around with for our lifetimes and for generations is filled. And that sets the stage for us to have immeasurable success. And so we're very proud to be here. Thanks to all of you who are joining in, Monique and Al Clark, Douglas Hill, Kwabena, oh my goodness, Malam, I hope I said that right, Tammy, Christopher, we got Austin, Texas in the house. We got Big Daddy in the house. Monica, oh, thanks for tuning in on YouTube. So, You are, oh, okay. So Nettie says, I have my results. I am Booby, Tikar, Hausa, or Fulani. So we found your lineage in 2 countries. And the ethnic groups that you share ancestry with are very closely related. We found the matches with the same frequency, which is why we gave you all of the groups. You've got a lot of cousins in here. Welcome to the family, Nettie. It's so good to know that you and your family now have this connection. Marcus Stone's in the house. Oh my, oh my, oh my. I'm so happy. All right. So today, as I mentioned, what we're doing is I asked some of my friends who are Africans living in New York City, as it turns out, to join us to talk about how their nation celebrates independence. And so I have 2 guests. The first one I'm going to pull in is Moctar Yara. He's of Yara International Fabrics.com. So if you all are looking for gorgeous Ankara fabrics, Kubi cloth, he's got Malian fabric, all Kente cloth, all different types of fabrics, you need to check out his website. But I'm going to pull him in. Looks like he's Moctar. Oh, wait, I have him mute. How are you doing?
Good, I'm good.
You changed positions. You went outside.
I'm just, I left for something, but I'm going to go inside the car and I'm good. Just 1 minute.
Okay, well, let you go in. I'm going to pull Zainabu up. I'll let you go back there.
All right, okay.
All right. Switch gears. That was Harlem. We're going to take it to the Bronx. With our girl and African ancestry family member Zainabu Sesay-Harrell. Hello, beautiful.
Hi, everyone. Hi, how are you? Thank you so much.
Oh, I'm so glad to be here. I see you in the comments, and we've had the opportunity to meet at the African Ancestry meetup in Harlem not too long. Well, I guess it was last year. It's been a while. And you and I have spoken at length. And oh, look, you can see my I got Sierra Leone figure here. So you are a wonderful representation of Sierra Leone. You champion your roots. You are a leader in the Sierra Leonean community here. There are so many positive things that you bring to the table as it relates to our Africanness. I want to start by first acknowledging that I consider you one of the frontline workers during this pandemic in many ways. And I wanted to thank you publicly, Zainabu, for the work that you're doing in the community to help keep us safe and to help spread information, positive, accurate information. Thank you very much for doing that.
Thank you.
And I know that this is a very difficult time for you and for your family and your loved ones, as it is for if not all of us that are watching this. But I wanted to take a step away from the difficultness and talk about something that's more uplifting. And so thank you for joining me. And you come from Sierra Leone. So can you talk to us a little bit about your Sierra Leonean heritage?
Okay. Hi, everyone. I'm sorry if the camera's a little shaky. So my name is Zainabu Sesay-Harrell. I am born in Sierra Leone, but I am Sierra Leonean and African American. My father is from the South. He is of Gullah heritage also. And like I told Dr. Page in the past, my father, before he died, he took African ancestry DNA test. And I found out about 2 years after.
Oh, no. Oh, there we go.
From my aunt. Can you hear me? I'm sorry.
Yeah, you said you found out about 2 years later. We got a frozen connection. Okay, there you go. Oh, here she comes. We can't hear you. Wait, hold on. We can't hear you. Nope. Ah, the technology guys don't want us to be great. We're going to beat them. Mm-mm. You know what you might want to do is go out and come back in. Let's try that. Okay. Everybody. Okay. So let me answer this question by from Carol Collins. She says, "Hello, Dr. Page. This is my first time checking in. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I have a question about getting results from my maternal grandfather. A cousin is my only option, and he is not too enthused about getting it done. Can I pay for it and get the results as well as he?" So, Carol, you can pay for the test, and there's an option for us to send the results to you instead of your cousin. We also offer the opportunity to get duplicate sets of results. And I want to add that he doesn't have to put his name. So if his concern is about his personal information, you can submit it with a different name, you know, customer X or Mr. 1234, whatever it is, and perhaps that will help him feel a little bit better about contributing. And if he has a son, his son would be an option for you as well. Hey, Monique Brewer in the house. Speaking of Sierra Leone, okay, we have Zainabu back. Let's see. Wow, we still can't hear you. Yeah, I don't know if you have something. Is your mute button pushed by? No. Oh, wait. Do you have anything plugged into the phone? I don't know. That's weird because we could hear you fine before, and now I don't have you muted. I think she is on her phone, Marcus. Do you have a suggestion for what she can do? Oh, man. We still can't hear you, Zainabu. Okay, Tammy Hurt. Oh, did you give microphone access to the app when you checked back in? You did? Okay. We're troubleshooting. We got the family is rallying to troubleshoot. Okay, she's gonna talk. Okay, well, let's go to Moctar. Okay, here we go. So Moctar, Yara, we're back in Harlem now. We're just gonna go all around New York. We're back in Harlem with Moctar Yara, who is the proprietor of Yara International Fabrics. And I was really excited when you agreed to join us, Moctar, because we so rarely talk about your country. So can you tell us where you hail from and give us some information about your heritage?
Hello, everybody. How are you? My name is Moctar Yara from Mali, West Africa. And my company is Yara African Fabric. You can look at my website, yaraafricanfabric.com. And Mali, we celebrate our independence every year on September 22nd. And which is basically really, right now, is like a family reunion. Everybody get it together and celebrate. And the military, but most people do home, like I said, most like a family reunion now.
So, okay, so is there, you said the military. Talk to us about what exact, well, first of all, Moctar, which part of Mali are you from? What is your ethnic group?
Actually, I'm from East Mali. It's called Nyoro, Jema, Djema. That's where I was born in my village.
Okay.
But basically, my tribe, we are Fulani.
Ah, Fulani.
Yeah.
I think you told me that. You did tell me that when we met.
I know, yes.
And so, okay, so we've got Moctar from Mali. He's a Fulani. And so you mentioned the military. So first of all, let me ask you this. Does the country shut down? Like, is it a national holiday?
It is a national holiday. Yes, it is shut down.
Okay. And so are there formal, you mentioned the military, are there formal parades or?
They do parade, definitely, yes.
Okay. And so what is the parade like? Is it like parades we see here or what?
It's a parade just like you see here and all the different bases are different. Everybody coming in different, what air, the ground, all the different military coming to show. They just like a regular parade.
Nice. Okay. And so then you said it's like a family reunion. So what happens typically? Do people go to a parade and then go do something different? How does the day flow when you're celebrating?
It's like basically, if tomorrow is September 22nd, tonight is a big party all over the place. All everybody get together, friend and family, and celebrate. And then tomorrow morning, everybody go to the parade. Even after the parade, some people still doing the party. I remember back then, my friend and I, we always like 18 at us, so we would go buy lamb, chicken. It's a big party, actually.
I like you mentioning the food. So I've been hearing a lot of stories on the radio about Juneteenth and how here in the United States, when we celebrate Juneteenth, there are all different types of foods that are part of the celebration, but they tend to be red. So strawberry soda is something that is part of Juneteenth celebrations. Red velvet cake is part of Juneteenth celebrations, but I don't think people are really making goat and lamb. I imagine they're probably eating chicken and ribs and burgers and stuff like that.
Actually, I think they do here because the Juneteenth, it used to be on the west side, in Harlem, west side. When you go there, it used to be every Wednesday. Every Wednesday here in Juneteenth. So when you go there, you see all different kind of different food or from all over.
Yeah. That makes
sense. It was a Senegalese restaurant from Brooklyn. It used to come there.
Yeah. So when you're talking about the upper part of Manhattan, and you start talking about Harlem, that's a huge melting pot. I mean, African restaurants line 116th Street. So yeah, I guess in that area you would see a lot of goat and lamb and other.
Yeah.
Marcus Stone says, let me get some lamb. Marcus Stone is a chef, you all, so he is in on this. And Joseph King says, what's up, cousin? I love to party and eat. So yeah, I don't think there's much difference between us.
Hey, remember, we're trying to put it together, group. Let's go to Mali.
I know Moctar has been. What do I say? He's been on me to get a trip to Mali together.
We should do it.
Yeah, we don't find that many people from Mali, but that's okay. We can still go. We can go to Mali and then hop over to Senegal and have a good time.
Yeah.
So what do you do? Do you personally, your family and friends, do you celebrate Independence Day when you're here in New York?
Over here we do, but in the state office building, in front of the state office building, so we do get together there.
And so you don't, but I don't imagine, I know there's no military. So what do you do? What kind of things do you do in front of the state office building?
Actually, what they do, I didn't go last year. I didn't go because, it's not, they still get together and music and dancing.
Okay.
I'm going to look.
This is hilarious, this technology. The technology gods are not working with us. Okay, well, let me pull Zainabu back in. Can we hear you?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes! Woo!
No, thank God. Hi, everybody. Sorry.
That's okay. We were patient. We were patient. So we lost Moctar, pulling you back in. So you were telling us that your father took the test unbeknownst to you, took the African Ancestry test, and
yes. So my father took it, and he found out that my family, my grandmother is Tikar from Cameroon, and my grandfather is Akan from Ghana. And I found that out from my aunt, who has now transitioned. And from there, I was just like, I was amazed. I was honored. because this has been my father's passion since I was a child. Like, for 50 years, he went to Howard. My father, I really believe God put my mom and dad together, because even from finding out from like my best friend, her husband's name and the relations, and then when I went down to the Gullah region and I went to St. Helena, I just learned so much more. And so meeting people who have taken your test, I learned to research myself more as an African American, and as a Sierra Leonean. And then I just started learning so much about my tribes, about country, about the role that we played in, in slavery and being enslaved. I didn't realize how many Sierra Leoneans were taken from Africa and, all over the world. From our first slave ship, I found out, went to Barbados. And so a lot of people that I found are descendants from Trinidad to Barbados. I'm finding out, they're from my tribe, one of my tribes. And I'm like, it was just, I had so many sleepless nights, and people know I'm just so very proud to be not only Black, but to be African American, and very proud to have my African ancestry, our DNA. I think it's why we're so strong and so resilient. So, when you said to come on to talk about independence, people know I'm like very involved, and I try to engage people as much.
You possible. Are. I mean, you can see it in the comments. People are like, "I know her. Go Zainabu." You got a fan club amongst the family in the comments. I love what you said about African ancestry being a tool for you to explore more about your Africanness and your African Americanness. I love that. But let's talk about independence. So we know that Sierra Leone as a nation won its independence in 1961, April 27th.
Yeah.
And so yes. I'm curious as to how do Sierra Leoneans celebrate that independence?
Well, independence for us was a really, really big deal, because we were, we had Portuguese, France, and then the British come to fight for our country. And it's because we have so many natural resources. We were known for water. And then when, Britain got into the business of slavery and Sierra Leone was used, it's like they controlled our country for a very, very, very long time, over 150 years. And so when our first prime minister, who was Sir Milton Magai, he, in the 60s decided to say, we need our independence. And, people really needed it because, some people, it's always a battle with Sierra Leoneans to talk about it, because some people felt that we were better when we were not independent, and some feel that we were once we became independent. We suffer from a lot of things now because of what happened during the war. But we got our independence in 1961. It was a huge deal. They did a big week celebration. They, went to the historic Brookfields area, celebrated. So since then, independence is a big deal for Sierra Leoneans. And, independence represents freedom. Although I always ask my people, are we free? Are we really independent? Because there's a lot of things that's with our nation and for our people outside of Sierra Leone. But, to make it, a jovial event, we celebrate by the cotton tree, have exhibitions. So what they do is they have a huge exhibition at Sheikha Stevens Stadium, and that was our first actual president of Sierra Leone. He became a prime minister, then a president. So they have a week-long exhibition, and it's like a festival. Yes, I went to it in 2017, and it changed my life. I never saw Sierra Leone like that. And the day, it's a stadium where they have soccer games, concerts, and they transformed the stadium into like a big expo. So people who have companies, businesses, builders, fashion, arts, they just, in the daytime, it's the whole stadium is filled with like vendors. And then when night falls, it transforms into an outdoor nightclub. And so there's bars and lounge spots and grill stations. And it's like, I grew up in Sierra Leone. I would go every year for a month. My mom would take us a lot. I've been like 13, 14 times since a child. And it wasn't turned up like that. And so like the time when I went in 17, I was like, what is this? And they're like, it's independence. And so this is like one of the times we always encourage people to go to Sierra Leone. But if you are not even in Sierra Leone, we celebrate it around the world. It's a big deal. We celebrate it in Europe, in Australia,
So
in
let
the
me
Middle
ask you
East,
this.
in America. It's huge.
Let me ask you this. Marcus Stone wants to know, what's a traditional dish that's fixed during independence celebrations in Sierra Leone or among Sierra Leoneans?
Okay. So Sierra Leone, we are famous for our cassava leaf. So cassava leaf is, some people will say jollof rice, but jollof rice is a traditional Senegalese dish that people want to take ownership. Our big thing, even though we're really great at jollof rice, is cassava leaf. So cassava leaf is basically the leaf of the yucca plant, so the cassava plant. So in Africa, what makes us so healthy, try to point this out to people, this is about 3 years ago, Sierra Leone was #2 top diet in the world. So we eat not only the root, we eat beef. So we cook it, and we cook it with palm oil. Whatever kind of meats you want, or if you don't eat any meat, or if you want fish, and we season the salsa. It's a popular cassava leaf. Anybody who tries that dish, you fall in love with it. So that's something very indigenous to Sierra Leone, and everybody makes it different depending on your tribe, but it's delicious. You have to try it whether you're in, outside.
I'm sorry, you're making me hungry, girl. You're making me hungry.
It's delicious. It's delicious. Some of your people that I met when I first did again, some of the African ancestry people that I met years ago, my first thing to introduce you, if you want to be introduced to Sierra Leone by me, I'm going to make you eat first. So I'll find somewhere that makes cassava leaf, and I'll let you taste it.
You're my friend.
So we have that in the Bronx, right?
So let me ask you, Moctar, how would you welcome people in? What would be your entree for people into celebrating Mali or experiencing Mali?
Honestly, what she just said, food. Food is number one.
Yeah.
I think number one.
That's so consistent, right? I mean, that's part of who we are, I think, as Black people around the world.
Get your nice grilled fish.
Yes. Right. And the Chef Jen about that.
Yeah.
So
delicious.
We heard you say that that there's a big, huge celebration in the stadium that's named after the first president of Sierra Leone, and then it turns into an all night long turn up, which sounds like what they do the night before in Mali, the night before their independence. What do you do here? What do Sierra Leoneans do? Are you all celebrating it in the Bronx or in Harlem? Zainabu?
What you said? What do Sierra Leoneans celebrate in? I missed
How do they celebrate independence here? How are you doing it here in the States?
How do they do it here? So what we do here is, so they have, just like back home, we celebrate it normally in a weekend. So independence will always fall on like a Saturday. And so we'll do events where like certain states will have a cookout on Friday. On Saturday, they may have a soccer game and another cookout. And then at nighttime, they'll have like a dance, like a huge party. They'll rent halls, have huge parties. Some states like New Jersey, and I take my hat off to New Jersey. New Jersey has a flag bearing ceremony for the Republic of Sierra Leone. Our former, and rest in peace, Fode Monterey, he was one of the people who helped execute that in the state of New Jersey in Newark. With the oh God, the ship, the Amistad ship that they have there.
Uh-huh.
Once for independence, the 50th, we did a sail. They went from Connecticut, they went to Cuba, and then they ended up in Sierra Leone. We also have beauty pageants, which I host the one in New York. We do a lot of stuff. We really, that's
Yeah,
time for
you
people
guys
to
get
really
it in.
get together, enjoy. Then we have cookouts on the Sunday. We have worship services for Christians and Muslims. We have, performances. We have a lot of our celebrities, musicians who live in Sierra Leone, sometimes fly out. We have a lot who live in the DMV in Ohio. So it's a really proud time to be Sierra Leonean and to be African. And
Wow.
we invite everybody. We welcome everybody to our events.
I love this. And a lot of the things that you're saying, so Mahawa is saying in Atlanta, we do, I think she means fundraising for different organizations back home. And I think this is so important. One of the things that is important for, I think here, I would encourage people who are celebrating Juneteenth to have it be a time of learning, a time of education. So in addition to, it's kind of like that partying with a purpose that Tom Joyner likes to talk about. But, let's take the time to really understand all aspects of our history, all aspects of our culture, which is why I'm so glad that the two of you were able to, to join us and expand what it means. So let me ask you this, Moctar, what does independence mean to you?
What does it mean to me? Honestly, I feel free. Even I feel free and joy with the family. Like I say, it's like a family reunion.
Right. And what does independence mean to you, Zainabu?
I feel like it means the same thing. It means when I think of independence, it's supposed to represent freedom. Um, I feel that I think that independence was supposed to empower us as a nation. But to be honest, we still do have challenges as a people. We have challenges as a nation, challenges still as a continent, and we still have challenges with even connecting with our people around the world who've been removed from our motherland. So I think anytime we have independence, especially like people like myself, when I get involved, I want people to be really conscious of our independence, how far we've gone, what are the strides or things that we could be doing as Black people around the world, as people, removed from Africa. Are we, for me, this is historic because we don't have too many platforms where we can say, not look at ourselves like, I'm African American. Oh, we are the same. We're the same. And now DNA has shown you we are the same. So when I find out my people who find out their DNA, I don't refer to them as African American anymore. I'm like, you're Cameroonian, you're Sierra Leonean, so it's independence is, I really think it's a time when it does come, we reflect on our country, what can we add to what our people are doing, what our nation is doing, and better.
Yeah, that's very well said. Very well said. Listen, I'm loving this. I'm Gina Page, president and co-founder of AfricanAncestry.com. If you've just joined us, we're talking independence. We're talking the independence of African people around the world, from Juneteenth to Sierra Leone with Zainabu, Sesay-Harrell, to Mali with Moctar, Yara. And my takeaway from this is one that is not a new idea, but it's the idea that we're the same. We're the same people.
Yep, she's right.
We operate the same ways, and we're still fighting for the same freedoms within our respective nations. And I think one of the ways, I'm proud that African Ancestry is here as a reconnector that brings us all together so that we can see how much more alike we are than we are different. So I want to thank you both so much for joining me and for persevering through these technical difficulties. I have told Zainabu that I want her to come back. She's going to teach a class. She's going to teach a class on something related to Sierra Leone here on Facebook Lives. And I think a tour of your showroom is in order so that we can talk to people about the different types of fabrics and how they can use them perhaps in ways they can think or...
Definitely, I would love to do that.
Okay, I want to do that. I think it's important to share to share all of your collective expertise. You all can check out Moctar at Yara International Fabrics.com.
Yara African Fabric.
Oops, I'm wrong. Okay, let me...
Yara African Fabric.
Yara African Fabric.com. I'm about to put it in the up here. Okay, YaraAfricanFabric.com, and he's got an amazing collection.
Sorry, the fabric with S.
Okay, wait. Gina, Gina doesn't know how to spell, y'all.
Yes, you do.
Here we go. With an S. It's saved in my URL. All I have to do is start typing and it comes up. So I encourage you all to check him out. And then, of course, my sister and cousin and frontline worker, Zainabu.
Thank you. All right.
Thank you, Moctar, for being here. I'll let you go. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you.
Like I said, I definitely want to have you back on. I want to just make sure that people have answered any questions that people have, because there may be some questions in here. There was one question about research. Someone wanted to know what type of resources can you recommend?
Research that I recommend online.
Resources about Sierra Leone.
Okay, let me tell you what I did. Because it's a lot. It's a lot.
Okay, give us three. Top three.
It's I mean, I went as far as Google Docs to find old historic documents because I like to research documents. Google is a good place to start. I mean, some people start and they find out the basic info, maybe from like Wikipedia, and then you look for different people who write about Leone. I don't look for the political content. You have a lot of people who've done a lot of research and work, historians on Sierra Leone. So I look up the people who write about Sierra Leone history, and then I put it all together and I put up in a timeline and I look at it. And, depending on, if you're looking for just general info on the country or if you're looking for specific things like your tribe. And there may sometimes be a little bit more content than other, but there's not one thing that you look at. I look at old dictionaries for different languages, whether it's Creole, Timini dictionary, dictionaries that I found. But Google helped me a lot. Google Docs, because I found a lot of archive info on it.
And for the person who asked that question, it was quite a few comments ago. The African Ancestry online community is a really good resource too. People like Fode and others are in there sharing all sorts of information and resources. So I encourage you, once you've taken an African Ancestry test kit, to join the AAOC here on Facebook, because you can't beat it for information, for a feeling of family, and I want to say camaraderie and support and inspiration and motivation. All of those things exist there. Shout out to Ty, who is the moderator, or what do you call it? She manages and leads the AAOC. Barry Payton made it in the house. He's saying much respect to you, and I agree. I thank you so much for sharing your time with us, especially during such a difficult period. Everybody, I'm Gina Page. I want to encourage you. Oh, I wanted to tell you. So before the live started, there was a comment. Someone was upset because we had a Mother's Day sale and didn't have a Father's Day sale. She felt personally offended that there was no Father's Day sale, but she was just premature in her disappointment. I'm letting you all know that we have a Juneteenth Joy special coming up to incorporate Juneteenth and Father's Day. So you all will be able to celebrate our freedom and celebrate our fathers starting on June 19th. So check out our Facebook page, check out our site for the discount for the special that we're offering then. If you have any questions, please leave them for us in the comments. And don't forget to join us tomorrow on IG Live. We're going to be talking to Jean Baylor. You may know her from the Baylor Project, or if you are in my generation, you would know her from Jeanne, the group Jeanne. So I encourage you all to come over and support that conversation tomorrow at 5. One more question. Let's see. Oh, okay. So Nettie got her results today, or got them recently. The fact that we listed the booby people first does not mean that you are predominantly booby. So when we give you multiple ethnic groups, it's because we found matches for you that were the same exact degree of matching, probably 100% among people in each group. So we can't say you're one or the other because we don't know. You matched with multiple ones. And if you think about it, it makes sense because Bioko Island is off the coast of Equatorial Guinea, but it's actually closer to Cameroon than it is to Equatorial Guinea. So these bordering countries are the result of the Berlin Conference when the continent of Africa was divided up among the powers. So lines were drawn through families, basically, and that explains often why we see multiple results. All right, so I'm gonna stop here because y'all didn't come on here to be on here all night. But I want to thank you again, Zainabu, for joining us. And I will see you all very soon. Until we meet again, may you be happy, may you be healthy, and may you be whole. Take care. Good night.
Good night, everyone. Thank you.